I got infinity money.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, episode 41. My name is Omar. Next to me is Earl, below me and Smacks. And now we live in the world where Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, and Drew Holiday, for the second time for Drew Holiday, are NBA champions.
I was wondering if you're going to catch yourself.
The Boston Celtics, well done this season. They have been shown they've been dominant all season. My prediction went awry, but alas, we live.
Whose prediction didn't go awry? Whose prediction was most spot on this series?
All right.
You did say 6 games, so.
Close enough.
You're right. Oh my God, you're right. I'm so stupid.
You
were right.
Earl, did you pick Celtics or Matt? You picked Mavericks, didn't you?
I think
I picked Celtics.
Yeah.
I picked Celtics in 7.
But, okay. And then Omar picked the Mavs. I know one of you had Dallas.
Yeah, Luka.
Can I say basketball IQ? You know.
Yeah, Luka played horrible. I can't even.
Luka and Kyrie, if we're being completely honest, let's just take the cat out of the bag.
The only Mavericks I think who had a good series, like who I would say had a good series overall, was Dante Exum and Josh Green for Game 5. That's about it.
True.
Can we talk about Dante Exum though? Shout out Dante Exum.
Okay, when I said
the biggest career revival I've ever seen. Was he even in the league for like 5 years?
I don't think so. Or he was on the end of somebody's bench, not getting an opportunity.
Like, you didn't. Yeah. I didn't hear the name Dante Exum since like 2019, and now he's just back playing like somewhat major minutes on a finals team. So shout out to him. He played well. Dog was hitting threes. Like Dante Exum came back and just started shooting like prime J.R. Smith.
Yeah, I think he started. What was it?
I think drafted by Utah. I know that.
No. But he was overseas for like 5 years or something. I think he.
He went overseas. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He went overseas or just out of the league
down there.
Cool.
So shout out.
Played in the land down under.
Yeah, it's home. But yeah, it would have been nice to see Dante Exum get a ring, but alas, that'll have to wait.
It's okay.
He has a chance. You just go to the Celtics. Listen,
certainly, you got to figure Dallas is somewhat of a favorite to run it back next year. I mean, they didn't have the greatest showing in the finals, but like, the pieces should all be there next year if they want them to be. Well, they might just ship PJ Washington back to Charlotte after that series.
No, I don't think so.
It's so weird. He was so good in the first 2 series. Like, he was key in helping them beat the Clippers and the Thunder. But it's like conference finals, he struggled. And then in the finals, it was rough. He had a rough finals. I don't know if it's just the Celtics defense or if he just caught a shooting.
This always happens to players. We talked about this when it happened to us. Literally, we talked about it when it happened to us. I mean, the young players need the experience. These people get shaking in their boots. The first time Julius Randle took us to the playoffs, he didn't play well. The next time, he didn't play well either.
Yeah.
So, and during the first playoffs, I remember RJ going friggin' 0 for 10 or something. Like, you can't forget those moments. You can't forget that these guys do need to develop into that. For PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford specifically, they were in the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and they went up to the tippity top of the Western Conference. So I don't think it's necessarily like they're going to ship them off or anything. Maybe that was a little bit of an over-exageration, but it's not.
No, I definitely was.
Yeah.
I'm mostly trolling with that. Like, I'm sure they'll have it back.
Of course. But no, I don't. They were still super key to their run into the playoffs. They were super key into the end of the season, especially Daniel Gafford. Like, you guys cannot forget what Daniel Gafford was doing over there. Yeah, crazy work.
It's just. I feel like the Celtics just had an answer for everything. Like, every punch, the Celtics just had a counter, and the Mavericks just didn't have that. Like, if you looked at the difference between their offensive sets, Celtics is a whole lot of ball movement, ball swinging around. You're having to play help defense to kind of jump lanes, stay on the defender. While Mavericks, it's more like either Kyrie has the ball kind of running an ISO or Luka has the ball running an ISO. And guys get kind of stagnant and then shot.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I do want you to continue. I just got breaking news. Big Al's coming back next season for his 18th season. Let's go.
Hey, that's a bet.
That's probably the only guy I really like, him and Jaylen Brown on the Celtics. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Retire with the ring. Go out on top. Like that would be such a story.
We all know.
We need
the Mickey Mouse run isn't happening again.
I'm sorry, Earl. Continue though. Continue.
No. I was just saying, like, you can just tell. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just like, I guess, professionalism. Like, not saying the Mavs were an unserious team, but you can tell, like, the Celtics, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. They knew what they had to do. They had to go out there and get it. And the Mavericks, it just seemed like they. Oh yeah, and another thing, not to like throw off my own conversation, but I feel like those rotations for the Mavericks were horrible, especially last game. Like, you have whole live rotations where you don't have a Derek Lively or a Gafford on the floor is absolutely insane. You got Luka out there with like a full lineup change with, what is it, Maxi Kibler? Is that his last name?
Cleaver,
my fault. Maxi Kibler. You had like Tim Hardaway out there as well. Like, just it was just like
he didn't play
at all.
In game 3, they played him in game 3,
yeah.
and he kind of played himself on the bench, and then he played at the very end of game 4.
Yeah.
But really, I was surprised they didn't play him more, honestly. Like, it felt like Dallas, what they were missing at a lot of times was like just a knockdown, sharp shooting 3-point guy that could like make the defense pay for doubling Luka and blitzing Kyrie. So I feel like Hardaway could have played. I know obviously they were winning without him, and he's coming off an injury, and when they did play him in game 3, he really did not look good.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that kid really did not play him. I'm surprised they didn't play Jaden Hardy at all. I mean, I know he's a rookie. You probably don't want to play a rookie or like a second-year guy in the finals, but Hardy was definitely getting minutes on this team going into the finals. Like in the conference finals, he played a good bit against Minnesota. Maybe that's just more of a matchup thing, but it was interesting to see Dallas. They were going like 10 or 11 guys deep at some points, and then Boston was able to just stick to their usual 8-man rotation. They killed it.
It just speaks to what Jason Kidd was doing and with his other years and other coaching. This is why other teams didn't trust him, specifically Milwaukee and Brooklyn. I mean, it's like the same problem people like to pull for Tibbs, but it's not really that because, you know, the Tibbs narrative is insane. But it is crazy. But, I mean, he's the same way. I believe Jaden Hardy should have gotten more minutes. I believe a lot of those guys should have gotten more minutes, especially with Luka essentially hobbling on the court every time he had an opportunity. And then Jaylen Brown hounding an injured Luka isn't going to win you a finals. So, by the way, shout out to Jaylen Brown for MVP. That was a great moment to see.
Yeah. I mean, the Tatum role player narrative is going crazy right now. Like, this is exactly what everyone was sadly hoping for, was that, you know, Tatum would not win MVP because there's this weird agenda against Jason Tatum. And I'm not going to sit here and say Brown didn't deserve it. Obviously, he played fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, he got the conference finals MVP as well. Now he's a finals MVP. You know, I really like Jaylen Brown as well. I think he's a great dude, great player, very smart, seems to be somewhat maybe the vocal leader of that team. But, I mean, he even said it in, like, his finals MVP speech or whatever, you know, when they handed him the trophy. He said, you know, my running mate is Jason Tatum. Like, this is not really me. It's kind of me and JT. Like, they're that duo. It's not, you know, one is not who they are without the other. So, personally, if I was on the voting panel, I probably would have given it to Tatum. I'm probably a little higher on Tatum than most people, even though I do not like Jason Tatum. Trust me, there's anyone who I don't like the Celtics and I don't like Tatum. But objectively, he clearly took a step back for this team. And you want to talk about buying into your role. Tatum could have probably gone out and if he wanted to, won MVP this year. I think he's good enough to do it. He could have gone out and probably put together numbers-wise an all-time finals run, similar to what Luka did this year. I think he could have put up those kind of numbers. I mean, you saw him getting, 11 assists, 10 assists a game, 9 rebounds. Like, he was putting up the stats. He wasn't very efficient, but he clearly took a step back for this team and was willing to, you know, give up some shots for Derek White, give up some shots for Jrue Holiday, give up some shots for Porzingis, not just in the finals, but all year long. He clearly, you know, settled very nicely into that. I'll kind of call it like the James Harden in Brooklyn role, where it's like, even though you're maybe the best player on the team, you're kind of just there managing and you're trying to make sure that everyone gets in their spots. You're going to go do the rebounds. You're going to do the little things because you're so good. He used his skill set in every facet of the game to make this team click. And so I think for that, and I think you saw this in the finals as well. So I probably would have given it to Tatum for that reason, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and say Jaylen Brown didn't deserve it. Because when you look at the efficiencies, especially, I think Brown shot like 44% from the field this series. Tatum was in like 39. So it's tough to give a finals MVP to a guy who shot below 40% from the field. So I totally get it, and I'm happy for Brown. But obviously, like you said, him and Tatum play very different roles, but I think Tatum buying in to win this championship is something that did happen, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna understand the intrigue. I can't even speak. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that word. But talk about those certain moments where people are asking if. I remember those times. All of those times, people are saying they should trade, they should break them up, this, and that. It's finally paid off in the sense where people keep going back, and they've been going back to this quote all playoffs. Back to Jay Crowder, and they're saying it feels like this whole team is a star player, and
I mean, yeah.
But it's also the fact that you have 5 people in your starting lineup. All 5 of them can initiate an offense in some sort of way. Kristaps Porzingis, all the way to Derek White. Every single one of them can initiate an offense, and I think that was key. And I think that's how teams are going to go about building their teams in the future to go against this Boston Celtic team. Because let's not forget what happened this year to the Eastern Conference. It was like a plague hit. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I'll take it back to what Julius Randle said last night. I'm still in the league. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna see them win for years to come, because I'm still here.
Yeah. The East is going to be interesting. Certainly people, I know people are saying like, oh, they got lucky. They never ran into Milwaukee. Milwaukee would have cleared them. I understand Milwaukee was injured this year and they got Doc Rivers as a coach and it's his first year. I can't sit here and tell you that a team that got exited in the first round of the 6 games by the Pacers was really better than a finals team that only lost 3 games. Like, think about it. Milwaukee lost more games in this playoffs than Boston, and Boston went 4 rounds. Like, think about it. They lost 3 games all playoffs. I can't sit here and tell you Milwaukee's a better team and that Boston should really be scared. Now, if Milwaukee makes a couple small moves around the margin to shore up their defense, because I think that is what ultimately is Milwaukee's undo, because they don't have consistent defensive presence, Drew Holiday. But if they can do some things to shore that defensive presence up and Dame and Giannis really fall into their rhythm and Doc Rivers can figure that team out, then maybe you have a shout. But I think right now it's kind of the Celtics up here and then everyone is chasing for the most part.
I have an end of season bar. Okay. I remember. It's not really a bar. It's more like I felt that this was going to happen. Remember the conversation we had about pat myself on the back. Remember I defended Drew Holiday versus Dame. Some people, not you guys, like other people, like when we're doing like full court press. Yeah. They were talking. I told people that Dame versus Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday has better value on a championship team than Dame because he's a 2-way player and he's a guy who can randomly just get you 20 plus points. He did that in the finals. He had a 30 plus point game. He averages 16 points.
Drew Holiday?
Yes, he had a 30-point game in the finals. I think
I'm looking this up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look it up.
What game?
Look it up. I think it was game 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
I mean, he was just true, but like what?
Yeah. But like he's a sneaky guy. He can do everything, but he will lock up your best players. Look how bad. Well, I won't even say bad. Look how much of an offensive drop-off Kyrie and Luka had throughout this playoff series. And most of the times you've seen Drew Holiday was playing a lot of deny defense. Even if they didn't have the ball, he was kind of clamping on making sure they didn't get the possession back because he knows how good they are with the ball in their hand. And that's the type of impact that Dame just doesn't have on the defensive end. And another reason, I know Giannis got hurt, whatever, but Drew Holiday being on this team, and we talked about the Celtics were missing kind of like a true point guard, which he is at times too. Like, he'll slow down the game. He'll throw a nice pass to the corner. He'll play defense. He's a strong guard, so he can go to the paint too. So I'm just saying, putting it out there, I was right. I don't toot my horn a lot, but we ball. Oh, snap. Breaking news?
Well, I was just gonna say, what's it called, Earl? He did only have 26 in a game.
26. Live? My bad.
It's kind of blurry. What does it say? Say
it.
It says. Hold on. Let me look. Hold on.
Is it NBA Centel?
I gotta look. I don't know. I'm seeing it a couple places.
I would have gotten a notification too.
I'm seeing it from Anthony Irvin as well. Like he's a guy in the basketball community.
All right. I don't believe anything until Woj Shams tweets it, but like fair enough.
True. But I am seeing early reports, so we'll wait and see what happens throughout the show.
Maybe this will break during the podcast. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I will just have to. I do just gotta say it was a 26-point game from Holiday. He never got 30. So
my bad. I gotta
reality check you a little bit, but still 26.
Yeah.
Everything you said is still true.
Facts. Yeah. I just feel like he's one of those. Like he can be a scorer. Like he can be. He's shown he can be like a third option on a championship team on the Bucks, or really second. Well, I'll say third because Chris Middleton was doing his thing.
He was third. Third option. Middleton was in 21. He was really good.
But like, look. Drew Holiday as like a fifth option on the championship team. My point is that's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Like you got Porzingis coming off the bench, had like a 20+ point game when he was healthy. Like what was it, game 1 or game 2, something like that. So
I see that report.
This team is crazy. This Celtics team, if they keep everything right, potentially could be a dynasty. And that's coming from a Lakers fan. I have to give my respect as a basketball. As a lover of the game of basketball, I give my respect to Boston. They just got to figure out how financially they can keep this group together as long as they can, and continue to compete. But it's not going to be. I'm not going to say it's not going to be as easy next year. Obviously, guys are going to want to go at them. I mean, you're always the target after championship run, but they just got to keep that chemistry together and keep them as many of those guys together as they can.
Yeah. It's definitely. I mean, I think we said a lot of the same things about Denver last year. As long as they keep things together, they're going to be a dynasty. And then they got second rounded this year. So I think what you said is true. You got that target on your back.
Yeah.
Obviously, there were guys that were injured. No one's going to say. I don't think they played any top team in the East at full strength. So we're going to have to see how that goes next year. I certainly think there's teams that are equipped to go against them. But I think what just makes the Celtics so darn good is that they're just the definition of like a 3-and-D team. And they got literally, like I said, all 8 of their guys in their rotation are minimum good 3-point shooters to elite 3-point shooters. Like they can just play 5 out, and they've got 2 of the best guys in the game, and Tatum and Brown are breaking down the defense and getting blow-bys. And so it's either you let Tatum just go one-on-one and he goes by you for layups every time, or you help and he kicks to Derek White in the corner, or he kicks to Al Horford in the corner, or he kicks to Jrue Holiday in the corner. It's like a 2K offense, but it's like it's unstoppable.
Exactly.
And the other thing is they have most of their guys in the rotation are also elite defenders. So even when Jrue Holiday isn't getting the ball on offense a ton, even when Derek White isn't getting the ball on offense a ton, even when Al Horford or Porzingis isn't getting the ball on offense a ton, they're still able to be very effective and make a big impact on winning. I think that's part of what teams kind of don't understand. And I'm not going to name drop, but I will name drop Phoenix. You can't just put great players together because obviously the combination of Booker, Durant, and Beal is better than the combination of Tatum, Brown, and Holiday or Derek White. Like, no one's going to argue that. But in terms of fit, when you have 3 players that all play the same, they're not going to be able to hit their potential. Bradley Beal as a third option is not going to give you as much value as Jrue Holiday as a third option. Or, Devin Booker as a second option is not going to give you as much value as Jaylen Brown as a second option because Brown's such a good defender, rebounder, passer as well. So I think Denver also understood this last year. Getting guys who play roles and are actually going to give you more value in those roles than quote unquote better players. So that's kind of seems to be the way that the NBA is going is that obviously you need that 1A, you need that Tatum, you need that Jokic, and only a handful of teams have that to begin with. But once you have them, you got to build around them and complement them. So I think that's whatever team wins next year, whether it's Denver, whether it's Boston, is probably going to fit that same formula. It's not just going to be get 2 or 3 really big name guys that just play really well together. And I think you saw Dallas, the fact that they made it this far was only because they bought into this. Dallas was a play-in team until February. And then they got guys who fit the monk here. They said, we're going to be an ultra defensive team around Luke and Kyrie. Get Gafford, play Lively more, play PJ Washington. And then it just goes, that's just how they had their success right now. Like you see that defense, you see that impact being made. So I think most teams are going to stop superstar hunting because clearly that's not how you do it. You need the Gaffords and you need the Jrue Holidays of the world if you're going to make the finals.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, there's nothing to disagree with whatsoever.
Yeah.
I did see that tweet, Earl, He's apparently on live right now talking about it.
On live where?
I don't know, but he's apparently like 13 to 15 minutes ago. He's on live talking about it.
Who's he? Reddit?
No. Anthony F. Irwin.
The reporter. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Reddit doing a live press conference.
Yeah, all my
it's looking
all my
like
Lakers guys are saying that it's pretty much confirmed.
It's pretty much confirmed.
Yep.
All right. So you guys heard it here first. I mean, you guys will hear it at around 2:30 or so. But I mean,
breaking BTB news.
Redick, I guess, is the new head coach of the LA Lakers.
We ball. Okay.
I mean, great basketball man. So
we call this breaking the backboard. Man, we have
welcome to the family. I'm gonna be the first to welcome you as a Lakers fan. Welcome home, JJ Redick. I promise you. First, here's the keys to success. One, after a loss, don't open Twitter. Lakers Twitter is a very toxic place.
What about after a win?
After a win, you can open it, but just take it with a grain of salt, because just know, as much love as you get on a win, you receive times 1,000 on the other end off of a loss. So just take everything with a grain of salt. I'll just say stay focused. And really, my biggest thing of him becoming the coach, just find ways to keep Anthony Davis involved throughout the whole series of a game. Like, I feel like the biggest flaw we've had with coaching is Anthony Davis will have like a dominant first half, but somehow in the second half we just go away from the game plan of giving him the ball and letting him work. So that's my biggest thing. Just optimize Anthony Davis as much as possible and just be part of the process. I know Darvin Ham wasn't really a big part of the process as far as like us drafting players, which shows why Jalen Hood-Schifino didn't get any play time. I mean, it's hard to justify taking someone that high in the draft and then just not playing him like at all. Like, even if he's bad, let him go out there and at least try to be bad. Like, we don't know what he is. We haven't seen him play. So hopefully, I'm glad we did this before the draft so we can so he can be part of the process. Like, hey, this is the guy I will play. This is who I want in the system. This is what we're running. So I'm feeling a lot more happy than I was, I guess, a couple weeks ago. I think we kind of all seen this happening, JJ Redick, after the Dan Harley situation, and I'm okay with it. I think he's a great basketball mind. He just has to work on his communication skills. I mean, it's different talking to a locker room of grown men and trying to get them to all buy into what you're selling. So hopefully you can get that happening, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I think JJ Redick is a highly respected individual.
Yeah,
I think LeBron respects the shit out of him. I think everybody around him will respect him as an NBA coach. There's no doubt in my mind that's going to happen. However, the question still lies: is this Lakers team actually good enough? I mean, we got to consider LeBron's age. We have to consider all of these people that are actually around LeBron and AD. This is reminding me of the time where AD was in New Orleans prior to the trade, because New Orleans couldn't really get anywhere in the playoffs. So
to be fair,
I'm not trying to be like difficult by any means. I respect JJ Redick, but it relies on the roster. And a 39-year-old LeBron James with I'm not sure how old AD is, 32? Maybe I'm giving that.
I think he's like 28, 29.
He's still pretty young.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's like 30.
Or maybe he's 30.
I think he's 30. Because he got drafted in 2012. So
he's definitely above the age of 30.
He's 31. He's 31. Yeah, he's 31.
Regardless. I mean, he still has a good 8 years in the NBA, undoubtedly. But regardless, I still look at this Lakers roster, and I don't feel that it's talented enough to compete with a Denver. I don't feel like it's talented enough to even compete with a Mid-Eastern Conference team.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, we're in the start. Free agency hasn't even started yet. I mean, the reason why we're out of the playoffs is because those reasons aren't our team. So I agree with you to some point, but I feel like it's way too early to kind of have the conversations if we can make a run yet. I mean, maybe later into the summer when we kind of see things settle down, trades, draft, picks and stuff like that, decisions as far as coaching and staff. I think a lot of things contribute to that. So we don't even know if we have LeBron yet. Like, that's just we don't even know if he's coming back.
Might not end up having LeBron.
Yeah. So it's I feel like
I would imagine if they hired Redick, Braun will probably come back. That seems like a Braun hire, Maybe I'm
sure, yeah.
That's a little too much.
No, I agree with you, but at the same
time, the guy's podcast partner as your coach. That's
at the same time, Max. Until it's pen and paper, how can I be confident, man? I don't know.
You never know.
But I do agree with you. I think signing JJ Redick definitely. I mean, there is some common interest there. I mean, they're basically already work partners, so why not add it? Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, if he does decide to stay, Braun decides to stay, podcast has to be cooked. No podcast. It's done. It was a one season special.
Podcast. What do y'all
it's a one season special. We're done with it.
What do y'all want to bet that they put out a podcast and they announce it during the podcast?
Here's the
Honestly, I could see that happening.
They're gonna have to choose between the podcast and wanting to win a championship.
Yeah, it comes out on Tuesdays. Maybe it could be a PR plan.
Oh, that is true. It's always a Tuesday thing.
I'm pretty sure it's either a Tuesday or Wednesday thing. I can't remember. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday, but
it's convenient.
That's a completely fair point, and I know you want to wait. As currently constructed,
I'm not gonna lie, Omar. Yeah, that's what the offseason's about. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, everything on our team is perfect," because we got eliminated last year. Like, I think it's fair to criticize a lot of teams. We definitely have some moves to make. As far as like, we don't even know if D'Lo's coming back. Like, that's the thing too. Like, there's so many uncertain things as far as like money, salary caps, player signing, trades and stuff like that I just can't give a for sure answer. But as a Lakers fan, am I going to sit up here and say, "Oh, we don't have a single chance just because things are unclear"? Absolutely not. I'm going to stick with the same energy every year that I have at least Anthony Davis and hopefully LeBron James. I feel like there's a good chance that with good coaching, we can definitely have a good chance to compete. And I'm going to stick with that answer even blindly right now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. D'Lo is holding up a lot of different, contract money as well. We could either stay with us, sign a longer term deal, or he can walk and we get nothing from him, or we can sign and trade him to a different team. We get something out of it. Bron can walk. We'll have a little bit of money, obviously, but nothing to replace the production of LeBron. That's a given. So I think everything just has to play out. I think this is like one stepping stone. And I'll probably have like a more for sure answer of like, hey, what's this team going to look like? Probably like next week, because once this draft stuff happens, or I don't know when the draft is. I think it's the
26th. It's like
26th.
Week.
Yeah, so about a week and a half. I think the Lakers' path will be a lot more, I'll say, easier to discuss. Because right now,
sign and trade LeBron to Cleveland for Donovan Mitchell.
But would you want to go back there without Donovan Mitchell, though?
That's not going to happen. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, would he want to play in Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell? I doubt it.
I just don't think Cleveland would trade Donovan Mitchell for 1 year of LeBron. Respect.
That is true.
Yeah.
When they could really just sign him anyways. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't make any sense.
Garland.
Oh, so I didn't hear what you said.
I was going to say, you guys could do that for, like, Garland. I feel like Cleveland would take that.
What, LeBron for Garland?
Yeah, but then it's like...
I would rather just get a year of LeBron James than a max contract of Garland.
Consider age, and you have to realize it's 1 year of LeBron. They can't give up premium assets for that. I feel like Garland is a good value to give for like a 1 year of LeBron James.
Well, the thing is, LeBron wouldn't get traded right now. He would just opt out and go sign somewhere. It wouldn't make any sense for him to, we're going to trade you for 1 year unless he's, just because the point of his career right now, he would just opt out and just sign a legit 1 or 2 plus year contract, and then he would retire out after that. So,
or he could come to New York and make history
if he wants to. It's all up to LeBron.
I think the thing with the Lakers is that they seem to have the ceiling of a championship team. The question is just, are all these guys going to play up to their maximum? Because I feel like, okay, if Bron is able to give you somewhat prime Bron nights in the playoffs, if Davis is the playoff machine, if Reeves is clicking, D'Lo's clicking, like if everything falls into place, I could see this team being a championship contender, even as currently constructed. It's just the question is there a scheme that can consistently get the most out of all of these guys? I think you saw that as a Lakers fan, Earl. It's never like everyone is clicking. It's like, this is the D'Lo game, but he has no help. Or this is the Bron game, but he has no help. Or AD goes off, but no one else does. It's like, can there be a system that maximizes production from everyone? True. And maybe that's what they think Redick can do. He can get a system where everyone is consistently playing at their ceiling or close to it. So I think if they can make that happen, I don't see why this roster can't contend with like a few minor changes on the bench. But the question is, like you said, is D'Lo going to give it to you every night? can Rui be consistent? Because Rui was very inconsistent, I feel like, especially in the playoffs. It's like
I agree.
You just never know if you're getting the same guy every night. And I think if you don't know that, then I don't see the Lakers going far. But they can sort that out. I don't see why not.
I agree. And I think you talked about like role players playing to the potential. A lot of the reason why we got eliminated was because of our role players. Anthony Davis and LeBron James outplayed Jokic and Murray the whole series. Anthony Davis was going toe-to-toe with Jokic as far as points, rebounds, not assists though, because Jokic is in a different category with assists. But points and rebounds, they were right there. Same with LeBron. LeBron was doing his thing, but the others weren't. I mean, we had a game where D'Lo had 0 points in a playoff game.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Can't happen. Rui Hachimura just never really got his shot going. Austin Reeves, he had a great 3, 4, and 5 game, but the first 2 games he kind of stunk it up. And both of those games, if he would have scored like 15 plus like he was doing in the last ones, we win both of those games. That's what I talk about, like as far as like marginal success with the Lakers. It sucks because it's like, hey, if you give me just a little bit, we're not asking for a lot. If you just give me a little bit more, that's how close all these games have been for the last 2 seasons versus the Nuggets. Just a little bit more. Like we can squeeze a little bit, like 15 or not even 15, like 12 plus points from Rui in game 1 and 2. We win both of those games. That's how close these games are. Same with D'Angelo Russell. Hey, if you don't score 0 points, I mean, dude, give us 10, 12. We win the game. So I agree with that. I think in a situation where you have Anthony Davis and LeBron having individually like really great careers, yes, but really great seasons last year, for it to be wasted, it absolutely sucks. Like I know going into that series, not a lot of people felt like we had a chance. The truth is, I mean, we had a chance every night. It's just everybody didn't show up and act professional like they were supposed to. So I think that's the problem when guys depend too much on their stars to win games. We talk about the Celtics, guys like Derek White, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Tatum. Like that's 5 guys who can go out there and all score 20 plus points whenever they want if they get the right amount of shots. And I feel like for the Lakers, not saying we had that, but there was a stretch of time when all of we had like a stretch of like 5-6 games where our stars were scoring in double figures every single game. And we just did not get that in the playoffs. So it sucks. Like you said, it's not that the guys on the team couldn't do it. It's just that they didn't. And I think that's what makes it hurt the most. And some guys may get moved because of that. And we might make some more reach trades. Shout out to the Russell Westbrook trade. Hopefully we don't do anything too drastic. But yeah, I think it just, that was, that hurt. I'm sorry about that noise, but just had a bad flashback of Russ and Lakers jersey just shooting air balls. But no disrespect, Russ. I'm sure I say this line all the time. You're a great guy, I'm sure, off the court, great family guy, but it just wasn't the best fit, like on both parties. You didn't ask to be a Laker. Unfortunately, guys forced you to be Rob Pelinka. So yeah.
Yeah. It cost y'all Vogel. But
yeah. I don't know 2 years, guys. It just feels like whenever, I mean, look, what it seems like is the way that things go is like whenever a team doesn't perform well, it just instantly falls on the coach. It feels unfair. It just, I don't like it.
In Darvin Ham's case, I don't care. But Frank Vogel, I agree. Frank Vogel, it sucks. The only reason he was fired, and they said this, he was fired because he couldn't integrate Russell Westbrook into our offense. And that's the reason why Darvin Ham was hired, because he had a plan on how to utilize Russell Westbrook. And my question is, if that's the main reason out of all the coaches you interviewed, that's why you hired him, but he left our team, and you see how terrible we were for those 2 years. It just makes me sick. So I agree with Omar. I agree with Max. I think it sucks to try to use coaches as a bailout button, especially Frank Vogel twice. That Suns team, there's no way that was on Frank Vogel. I'm sorry.
In 1 year?
It was on Frank Vogel. No way. How do you expect him to, like, get this team right? You gave him just, like, 3 crazy players, then a whole bunch of just some guys who just wouldn't even be on any – I won't say on an NBA roster, but they wouldn't be in the position they're playing. Like, as far as maxed out minutes on any other roster in the NBA, it's not happening. So I'll say this. I apologize, Frank Vogel, on behalf of the Lakers organization, because you led us to the championship. I say this every time I get a chance. Every single round, he threw something different. We beat the small ball Rockets. He had a different system from them. We beat the Nuggets. That's why they're so mad at us, bro. Nuggets hate us because of 2020. Anthony Davis buzzer beater. If you don't know, just go Google it. It's there. I
do remember that.
It was crazy, but and then in the finals versus the Heat, that was a really energetic Heat team all set. And every round we found something different to kind of implement. As far as size, going small, matching pace. Like Frank Vogel did all of that. And the fact that the Suns didn't even give him a season to kind of adjust to these changes. Like, who goes and gets Bradley Beal when you have Devin Booker as your 2 guard? Like, the fit makes no sense. So I'm sorry, Vogel.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him like a 4-year or a 5-year max contract, and they just fire him after 1 year. It's crazy. Vogel might still be getting paid by the Lakers. Like, he might still be.
I know we were playing Luol Deng for a long time.
Bro, y'all still paying Luol Deng.
Probably so. I think it either ends this year or maybe it was like a season or two ago, but that was a long process.
Yeah, that's rough. But it's like teams just give coaches like 5-year, 4-year deals, and they fire them after 2 years for stuff that isn't their fault. Like, they gave Frank Vogel a Big 3 team, like literally like an Ice Cube Big 3 league team, and said, "Go win in the NBA." And it's
I've never heard that comparison. That's hilarious.
Give them 2 years to figure it out, man. You gave them 1, and they said, not good enough. But y'all know the old phrase, you can't fire the players. So
that's a crazy bar.
You can't fire the players.
Because I'm trying to get some group projects like out of the way. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I haven't been much in the conversation. I do want to apologize to both of you for that.
Oh no, bro, we're chilling.
Yeah, but I agree with both of you, man. It's just it's fucked up.
Yeah, it makes me feel bad because we're talking about like straight up relocations. Like, you're gonna move here? Yeah, we got you. 4 years, buy a house, get your family here. You know what? We've seen Kevin Durant just doesn't like the way that you're drawing up plays for just Devin Booker, so we're gonna let you go. He wants to be more involved in the offense. He doesn't like playing the 4. He feels like he's too small to play that position. Like, just different things like that. It's just, I know that this is how some of these conversations go. Like, yeah, Kevin Durant's just not rocking with you anymore. I'm sorry. He doesn't believe in what you can put out there, which to a certain extent. And the biggest example, why are we forgetting the godfather of this season?
Adrian Griffin.
Thank you. He was the second best team in the NBA.
Half a year.
Second best team. They downgrade and get Doc Rivers, and they're at home at the crib. I already know Griffin, even with Giannis hurt, he would have put up a better fight as far as schemes. At least tried a little bit better. Like, that was the team. He built that team. He got that team to where they were, and Doc Rivers just coasted it to the playoffs, bro. I thought that was the dumbest decision they made. I'm so sorry. That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. How can you fire me when I'm excelling at my job? Excelling at my job. Like, how? I'm number two. And I think not even just in the East. I'm pretty sure at that time it was just overall in basketball.
It was like
the West
in the East 3 overall or something.
Like, okay, yeah. Top three all just overall. Like, how do you lose your job because of that? And that's where I feel like the standards of coaching is becoming unreal. Like, the standards are just unattainable at times. Like, I just don't understand what it is. But then you have the floor of Darvin Ham, which I can't defend ever. So
yeah, to add to that, Earl, I just felt like certain teams are built for certain coaches, right?
That's a bar.
It's true. Like, bro, I'm not even trying to bring up the Knicks like that, but you look at that team and you're like, damn, that's a Tom Thibodeau freaking team. Like, that is
true.
Like,
yeah, I see that.
Team, that's the coach's identity.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that also comes with building a foundation around it, right? The foundation with us was Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. We built a foundation starting from then with Tom Thibodeau. Instilled it in the defense first, and they built the roster from there. So what I feel like is necessary is that within the world of coaching, I don't know, it's like so hard to pinpoint certain little aspects of the game to the sense where it's going to win you a championship. I mean, Frank Vogel, in his regard, felt like Rob Pelinka was covering his ass with that one.
I agree. I
mean, like, you can't deny that the public was raging, saying, "We have Russell Westbrook. We're not doing shit with him. Yada, 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 yada." He's not that good.
Yeah.
He's not.
I've been saying this. Go give me Bob Myers. He doesn't even look like he wants to be on TV. He's sitting right there. I'm looking at games. I'm like, dang, he's right there in the booth. He's calling us. Every time he gets a chance, he says something good about the Lakers. And I can't help my delusional self that he's like auditioning. Like, it's just in my head, like, hey, I promise you, if Pelinka got fired, me and Alan, shout out to Alan, we had this conversation. If Pelinka got fired, Bob Myers would have the job within 24 hours. No doubt in our mind. Like, it would be like,
probably.
Honestly, you might be right, Max. It might be like same day transaction.
It would be like Adrian Griffin getting fired. It's like we have fired Adrian Griffin and have hired Doc Rivers.
Exactly. It might be. Yeah, and then remember how the stories came out that they were like looking at Doc Rivers, like they were looking at coaches. Wow, they were a successful team. It's crazy. And when those reports came out, it's like, yeah, they didn't. That's the thing. The media too is like really evil at times. Like all these backstories after stuff happens is insane. Like, yeah, they were looking for this coach since All-Star, since December. Like they were looking around for coaches, doing interviews on the side. I'm like, dang, so these guys compile all these stories, hold them up for a huge article, which I get. That's how some people get their big break, but at the same time, like, dang, the media, that's why I say a lot of social media is just really toxic. In my opinion, just sidebar conversation.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when Dame doesn't want you there, you're not going to be there. That's what it comes down to. Dame,
he'll drop a diss track on you.
Really, I mean, Adrian Griffin, Dame. Well, actually, it might be what's it called? Doc Rivers diss track at this point.
Honestly,
the craziest thing to me though is that like not only like obviously yes, the Griffin to Doc Rivers was wild. But the fact that they fired Mike Budenholzer in the first place to me was the worst thing because they fired him for the same offense that they are now keeping Doc Rivers on for, just losing in the first round with an injured team.
True.
Can't fire the guy who got you a championship and then have his replacement do the same thing but keep his replacement.
Exactly.
That's worse. I mean,
they did what the Lakers did. They took the Lakers down the ladder. They took the Lakers.
You're right too, because those years when when like Vogel was getting fired, I mean, those were some of the worst injury years for AD and Bron. Like, what did y'all expect? We were gonna just win 60 games? No. I mean, what do you think? Russell Westbrook is gonna be the savior? No, like it just doesn't happen like that. So
yeah. You know what I think needs to happen? I think over the offseason, we need to do a BTB ranks episode where we just rank all 30 coaches. Once every coaching spot has been determined, I think we need to rank every coach.
I like that. Or what about a coaching tier list?
Coaching tier list / coaching rank, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we just do tiers to make it a little easier, but like, yeah.
I think it'd be funny for tiers.
We could probably dedicate an episode to that this summer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we should just do BTB ranks. We should just do ranking episodes.
I think a tier list will be hilarious.
Like 2 parts.
Yeah, coaching tier list.
Can we make a ham tier? Like just call it the ham tier?
Oh yeah, 100%.
No, we can call it the ham /West. You forget about West. West Unsealed?
Oh, yeah,
Wizards? Well, but neither of those guys will be coaches. Will we do it based on
he's an assistant coach now.
Or the coaches for the upcoming year? I guess we can't really do upcoming year because we don't know like what we're expecting.
Natalie's constant reminders. I don't know who he is, so I'm just gonna say we're gonna call it a Darvin Ham tier.
It's a reason why you don't know who he is because he was terrible.
Oh, 100%. And
he had the fortune though of having a bad team.
Coach.
The worst thing you could be is a bad coach on a good team because then you're Darvin Ham. But if you're a bad coach on a bad team, then you're just Wes Unseld and nobody knows who you are. Or Wes Unseld Jr. Nobody knows this is except the fans of that team. Shout out Natalie, but
shout out Natalie. Yeah, we gotta bring her back soon.
Yeah. Very, very quick side note tangent. I think it's really. Did y'all see that Alex met Natalie in real life?
Oh yeah, she told me that.
Yeah,
graduation.
Met Natalie. I thought that was so cool. I saw that on her Instagram, so I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
No, they had her sibling went to the same school as Natalie, and they were at the graduation together.
Oh, that's
pretty
cool.
Crazy.
I was like,
kind of like a full circle moment as well.
See each other very soon as well, actually.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly. All the full court. I mean, Alex had a bar in her caption. It was like full court press moment, not just full circle moment. That was
Is it a circle or is it a square?
I'll be in the next ground club. The ground club. The ground.
Oh, definitely. Next ground cup video. Nah, the ground cup video.
He doesn't know your title.
One ground cup video during that video.
1v1.
My words. Leave me alone.
1v1 for $1,000.
Ooh, I don't know about the $1,000.
No, it's just clickbait. It's just clickbait.
It's just clickbait, guys. It's just clickbait.
Nah, you know what we should do? We should make y'all do like a hot chip challenge. Whoever loses.
Oh God, no! I'm not eating a hot chip.
Some sort of food.
Nope.
No.
Look how it phased out. Look how it phased out because you said hot chip.
Max, we could get the chopped cheeses, and then because I've never had a chopped cheese, we can go get chopped cheese.
Yeah. We'll do, but we'll definitely
chopped cheese, baby.
Chopped cheese challenge.
Yeah.
I have a question for y'all though.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Because this year I'll say I'll ask the question first, and I'll explain it. What team do you think is going to have a breakout year? And my example from this season, I'll say, is the Magic. I feel like they went from pretty much the bottom team to they made the playoffs. I mean, they put up a good fight. Obviously, Cleveland had the experience. But for you guys, like, what's your breakout team for this upcoming season?
Detroit.
So are we excluding teams that made the playoffs?
Yes.
No, you can. I mean, you can use them if you want.
I would say.
I mean, I think anything that made it past the first round
except the top 3 is okay. So it doesn't include the Knicks, the Celtics, or Milwaukee.
I still feel like what can I say? Indiana, like they're not going to get better. I wouldn't call Cleveland. I think any team that made the second round is not a breakout team. You've broken out at that point.
I will say Detroit, and I have a reason for it.
Okay.
Because anything better than this season for Detroit is fine. It's a breakout season. They've had the worst season that they had in a very, very long time. So any type of movement in the standings for Detroit is a breakout season.
Okay. I'll say my team.
Well, honestly, I do think Detroit makes the play-in.
You know what? I'm going to say.
I was going to say the Charlotte Hornets or the Washington.
No,
I'm going out east because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of crazy movement in the West because the West is stacked. I mean, you got Ja coming back, but that's not really an underdog team. They just were hurt.
We're going to be like
unless they get like the first seed, that's not a breakout.
No, True. They're going to be like 5th place. They're not even going to be top 3.
Clip it. No, I'm just like, put them in the edit. I'm going to say, you know what? Shout out to the fam. I'm going to say the Wizards.
I knew you were going to say it.
I'm going to say the Wizards. I seen the Bilal Coulibaly highlight videos. It looked crazy. Like the way he's moving right now, looks like he gained a little bit of muscle. Unofficially, you know how they joke around the offseason. I heard he gained like an inch of his height, but apparently it's actually real. I've seen that. He looks like he's building onto his frame a lot better. And like thinking about like his player, I don't know what his player comparison really is, but he's like a two-way type player. He can play defense really good. We've seen him like take on a couple of challenges, and he has kind of like that mix between like confident. I don't want to use the word arrogant because he's just like for sure in his game. Like I think there was like one point in the season where he was talking about like how he was looking forward to guarding KD and say he was going to lock him up, which is not an easy feat. I mean, Kevin Durant is like 6'11", maybe a little bit taller than some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they have a lot of mystery. So I think they could definitely maybe pull a Magic. I don't know, but I think that's going to come with the biggest thing is Kuzma either getting traded or maturing, and I don't know if either of those are 100% possible. So that's the one outlier I feel like. Yeah, I can see them maybe making some type of thing. No pressure to the Wizards, but it would be interesting just to see another team kind of shake it up in the East, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a good comparison for Coulibaly could be like a Devin Vassell type player.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
I mean, Devin Vassell's already kind of a young guy, so you don't really want to like young guy to young guy, but like that kind of game, like you said, like two-way athletic forward / guard. I feel like that could work. I'm actually I will go out west for my underdog team. I'm gonna go a bit left field. I'm gonna say the Houston Rockets make at least the play-in, if not get an 8th seed. I think the Rockets are going to do well for themselves next year. I think Jalen Green took a step at the end of this year and figured something out. I think he's going to show up as the leader of that team. They still got Van Vliet. They still got Şengün. People forget how good Şengün was before he got hurt. Like that team was charging towards the play-in. So I think get that spot a full year. I mean, Ime Udoka, as we know, is a good coach, a football coach. So honestly, I back Houston. I think even in a stacked West, I think they'll find their way into the play-in, and they might. I could see Fred VanVleet going for like 30 or 35 in a closeout playing game and just getting them a playoff spot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Also, they got your boy Earl, Jabari Smith Jr. Don't forget about him.
Jabari?
Yeah, Jabari.
The Rockets is interesting. I like the Rockets just because I feel like they have a lot of unsure talent. Like they have too much talent and they're just starting to figure out how to use it. Like Cam Whitmore is a big question mark. I feel like he had a pretty decent rookie year for the minutes he was given. Who else? Like you said, Alfred Şengün. I mean, when they drafted Alfred Şengün, not saying that they didn't know what he was going to be, but he's legitimately one of the best playmakers we see in the league at the big position. Shout out to Jokic. I mean, he's a good standard for Thompson. Oh yeah, he had a really good, like, I know he's not the best shooter, but like as far as his two-way ability, I mean, he has potential to be one of the, I don't want to say the best defenders in the league, but he definitely can be, if he ups his offensive production, he can kind of get into that Drew Holiday two-way potential if he kind of boosts up his offensive production.
Yeah, I mean that could be a stretch, but I could definitely see him being like an all-defense second team kind of guy. Like
True. But as far as like ceiling comparisons, I think Drew could be his potential ceiling. I feel like if all things go right. I don't know what their height is, but I don't think that's too.
I mean, he just doesn't have. I mean, respectfully, I feel like Drew came into the league with. I mean, even when he came into the league, he was putting up like 18, 20.
I don't think you can shoot crazy like that though. When he first came in, if I'm not mistaken,
it wasn't crazy, but like even then, he still had a handle. Like he could still go create his own shot. He could pass. He could run an offense. Right now, Thompson is just very like a raw defender, rebounder. I'm trying to think like what I feel like his ceiling would be. I don't know, but like I still think Houston's got a really solid core. I'm not trying to hate on Amen Thompson. I just don't think Drew's comparison for him.
What do you guys think about the Jazz, though?
Jazz are interesting.
I don't know. They don't feel like a real. When I think about NBA, y'all can clip me if you want. If I think about NBA teams, I don't ever like Utah. Never comes to my mind. Like I never think about Utah as an NBA team. The Jazz. When I think about top teams, when I think about worst teams, I don't even think about the Utah Jazz. Like I just erase them from the history of my mind. No disrespect to obviously the Jazz. There have been scandals in the past that I won't talk about, but just the Jazz in general right now, I just think they're too much of a mid team for me to even discuss. Like, yeah, I forgot John Collins was in the NBA until we played the Jazz. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you go to the Jazz, your whole career freezes. It's boom. It's the shadow realm. Like the Utah Jazz, it's the shadow realm. At least the Wizards, I knew I said Kaprizov. I knew Porzingis was over there. Yeah, I knew Russell Westbrook was over there. But Jazz, like, I don't know. Like, Lauri Markkanen is the only reason people have, like, even paid any type of, maybe even, I'm stretching that, attention to the Jazz because he's a good young player. And once he leaves, if he gets traded off that team, I mean, they can rebuild all they want, man. The Jazz, Donovan Mitchell. Oh, I forgot he was on that team.
I was going to say, yeah, what about when they were actually really
good? Legit forgot that Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert were on that team. I'm telling you, it's like erased out of my mind. Once they lose their stars, irrelevant.
Yeah, that's like what I do with the Denver Broncos in football. I always forget the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, you just randomly see Broncos make it. Yeah,
the Denver Broncos. For whatever
reason.
I don't know why.
I don't know, bro.
Like within the last decade, but I still forget they exist.
It's just some teams, man, that it's just
forgettable. Sadly.
It's just some teams. It's just like, I'm just like they're not on my radar. Like I forget the Jazz are in the West. I'm sorry, like it's just like they're an invisible team. And it's funny though, because last year the Jazz had some games where they just beat us. I'm like, dang, there's no way we can lose to the Jazz. They just come out of nowhere playing like the hardest basketball.
The Knicks had one of those this year. It was like early in the season, and they just out hustled us. They just took it to us. I hate the phrase they wanted the game more. I hate that with a burning passion, but like they actually did want that game more.
Yeah.
They showed us up. Colin Sexton had like 30 points.
Yeah. I just feel like
Colin Sexton was there. Actually, it's a good segue.
Honestly, wait, what happened about Colin Sexton?
I'm saying, did you know Colin Sexton was even in the league still on Utah?
Okay, only reason I knew that is because I actually like Colin Sexton.
Okay.
He's my favorite Jazz player.
I feel like he's like the most forgotten about NBA player. Like, dude was like
Probably so. And he had a really good season too.
Better than Darius Garland. He was like their point guard for a little time. He was like the Cleveland point guard, and then he got moved from Mitchell. And it's like,
and he's playing. He's playing better than Garland right now.
look, he kind of.
Yeah, I mean, here,
nice.
Let me look at the numbers. Let me not say that blindly. Let me see. But I feel like he had a really good season.
I think he did have a good season, but I mean, I think that Garland also had low key an off season. It just feels like with him and Donovan Mitchell on the floor together, you could see that it didn't really work well together.
Yeah, he averaged 18 points a game this year. 18-5. Yeah, Sexton.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, dude,
18-5. Shooting 39% from three. Jeez. Field goal percentage at 48.7.
That's good for a guard. Yeah. That's really good.
That's actually impressive. And he played 78 games. I didn't know Sexton was cooking like that.
Who else is doing that like level of production and getting talked about? Actually zero. Like
zero. Like I was thinking like maybe like 12, 13, 18. That's second, third option territory on some teams.
Yeah.
As far as production, I mean, geez.
No one is doing that, but like getting actually not even talked about, like whatsoever.
None, zero. Like, bro, we go. Hey, Lakers, go get them. What are we doing? Let's make a trade back into the no man's land. Let's go banish somebody there. Gabe Vincent and Spencer Dinwiddie, banish them.
Y'all remember Bogdanovich was on that team for so many years, like the Donovan Mitchell teams.
Wait, say that again.
That Bogdanovich was on those teams with Mitchell.
Oh yeah. It was Bogdanovich and Joe Ingles. I remember they were cold. They just had little slingshot shots and they shoot those threes.
Did they have Korver at one point too?
I still think Joe Ingles can hoop. He's just in a weird net position right now.
I think Joe Ingles.
I think if you're playing, here's my opinion. Joe Ingles can pass in a regular season.
Joe Harris, like what happened to him?
That's actually fact.
That's a good question. Joe Harris? I wouldn't mind Joe Harris on the catch and shoot roll off the bench. I mean, dude was putting on heaters, bro. Heaters from three. Like we're talking about like 5, 6 plus. Boom, boom. Oh, when he gets in rhythm, he's on that Kyle Korver type bag when he gets really hot.
He's like the top 3-point shooter in the league.
What team is he on?
He's on Detroit.
Is he?
Yeah, he doesn't play.
What?
He doesn't play at all.
That's what I'm saying.
No way. See, we got it. Lakers.
Look it up. Joe Harris.
This is our Pelinka. Go to the no man's land and go save some of these players. They're not even being used. Like what? Why does Detroit have him? They don't deserve him.
Why do they have any of their players?
He averaged 2 points a game this season. Lordy.
What he was like supposed to be part of the savior team on Brooklyn. He was like the offensively. He was good that year too, but like he wasn't the same.
True. Yeah. Yep. He averaged 2 points a game this season. Jeez. Yeah, he only played 16 games.
Imagine him in like a Sam Hauser role.
I think that, bro, he went from playing 74 games to 16 is just sad.
Trying to think, what are some other like good players that are just banished right now? Who is like literally banished? Malcolm Brogdon, kind of.
I'll throw one out there. I'll say Jaden Ivey because he didn't even get to play like the first half of the season. Remember? Because Monty Williams didn't believe in him, and then he got minutes and not even magically. He started playing exactly how he was playing last year, which was crazy. They just like, oh, he can play. I didn't know that. Well, if you play him, coach, you can find out, or just watch film from last season. He was doing the same thing. That was crazy. They have he just assumed that Jaden Ivey and Cade couldn't coexist, which was crazy. Like, why not try it? They did last year. That kind of made me mad as far as like just wasting one of his young years. He averaged 15 points a game this season. Who?
Andre Drummond. Dude could still start on many NBA teams.
He's on the Bulls. No, but okay. He was playing ball. He had some really good, like nobody really watches. Yeah. He was playing good ball.
He could start on a good amount.
He had a game this season where he had a crazy like rebound / scoring game.
Yeah.
We'll
do 2020.
The problem is we had Drummond, but we had him the wrong year, bro. Like we had him when everything was terrible. Like when we had Russell Westbrook and stuff like that. We had what's his name? Malik Monk, the complete wrong year, bro. Like we had some of the better players that would fit this year. We had them like a year or two early, bro. That makes me so sick, man. Instead, we paid Gabe Vincent, man. That could have been Malik Monk's money, and we could have had Andre Drummond instead of like Spencer Dinwiddie and other guys for whatever he signed for. It's absolutely.
I wonder if Rob Pelinka feels like Mark Cuban sometimes when he didn't sign Jalen Brunson for $50 million.
I don't know. I think that's probably a bigger issue. I feel like
if y'all had Malik Monk right now, y'all
no, for sure. If we have Malik Monk, that's all we need off the bench. I mean, dude's putting up a heater off the bench. That's all we needed. We needed somebody. We really needed somebody off the bench to replace Austin Reeves' production when he became a starter. That's what we're missing. We had nobody to replace that at all.
I don't think he should start, but that's just me.
Who?
Austin Reeves.
He can start. He can.
It's crazy how many players have come through the Lakers in the last decade. Like,
yeah, no.
Y'all had Brook Lopez at one point.
Yeah, young days before he was a shooter.
I know it was like during that weird transition period where he was learning how to shoot, but like they had just like the most random like guys where it's like, damn, I forgot that guy played on the Lakers. Who's another good example?
I feel like
yeah, Reeves averaged 16, 5, and 5, bro. That's enough to be a starter.
Yo, do y'all remember Darren Williams?
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed it.
Well, I won't say he got banished. He played himself there.
Yeah.
He played himself out of the league, respectfully.
But here's this.
He got his money's worth. I'll say that.
Yeah.
He did.
He got a ring.
He was really good for a long time, though. Come on, we can't deny that. He was like,
no, he was good. I'm not denying that, but I can't. I mean, like he got his world tour. He got his money worth.
Yeah, he got his bag.
Yeah.
In 2009, he was like, it was between him and Chris Paul for like best point guard in the NBA. Straight up.
Oh, I'm thinking of a name. What's the name?
Okay, so
describe him.
I feel like Brook Lopez has had like 2 different careers in the NBA.
So true, honestly.
Nets. It lasted like 8 years. It feels like it was like an entire career in one.
Yeah.
And then his career traveling around the NBA and then eventually landing in Milwaukee.
No, for real. He still holds a lot of Nets franchise records. Like a lot of those are still.
He was older when he was playing with the Nets. I was like,
he was an all-star. Like he was legit when he was with the Nets. He's still good now, obviously, but
yeah.
I'll never forget this.
On the team.
Brook Lopez, I forget what year it was. Must have been like it was towards the end of his time with the Nets, but they played the Knicks. And he had like this was before he was shooting threes. He was like never shooting threes. He was like Dwight Howard level of shooting threes. And it was like he had made like 2 threes all season or something, or maybe 2 in his whole career. And he came out against the Knicks and hit 4 3-pointers in like the first half. He went absolutely nuclear. It was like, dude, just flip the switch. It was like when you buy, like you go from like a 63-point rating on your My Player to like a 90. He just came out one game and started flamethrowing on us. And I'll never forget that. Earl, do you remember your player?
Hold on, let me Google this to make sure this is a real player.
The suspense is killing me here, dog.
TJ Warren.
Oh, dude, the GOAT. Michael Jordan.
Bubble GOAT.
Right there.
Bubble Guppy is what I'll call him. The Bubble Guppy. He was the king of the bubble. Bubble Guppy. You don't want to talk about Mickey Mouse championships? What? Oh, did he play for the Suns?
No, he's on the Timberwolves. Now he is.
Oh, you're right. He's on the Timberwolves. I did see him on the bench.
He almost got a ring this year.
Bro, okay. This is what I was talking about, bro. Like, there's people I just completely forget about. Because I was thinking in my head, I was like, I know what his name is. I couldn't remember. TJ Warren, bro. I almost said TJ McConnell. I was like, no, that's not right. TJ McConnell is the coldest white boy on the planet.
He was a good player for Phoenix. Like he averaged like 15, 16 a game, I feel like, when Phoenix had nobody else.
He was a good player. I don't know why he didn't get any minutes. I mean, I feel like he was just older. That's why, right?
Yeah, it's like I feel like he's just an older player on younger.
Gordon Hayward.
He's been pretty popular. He was pretty famously banished, and then now famously banished in OKC.
Where's Andre Ingram, Earl?
Look, that's the most done wrong NBA career of all time. They literally never let bro elevate to the NBA, but they kept him in that G League since the beginning of time till he got gray hairs. Nobody is supposed to grow old in the G League. That's not what it's for. It's not supposed to be for that. Then he got one game.
That's like low-key
possessions. But his story actually ended up really good. He became like the president of like the G League Association or something like that. So I mean, he really had a good storybook ending. but it's just like he just like forgotten player, bro. Like that was a cool story.
And dude, and he got one NBA game. He played one NBA game.
One NBA game. And he got to play with hoopers. Yeah, he gets like kids that
with the amount of like edits that you've seen online.
Yeah,
he played for like an end of a season.
Exactly. All that. Hey, one game, guys. That was a legacy game, and he cooked. I don't know what the stats were, but it was funny.
Why didn't they give him like a rest of the year deal for that? Like I don't know.
That was one of the best moments.
It was last game of the season, a year where the Lakers were bad and didn't make the playoffs. So like that was their season.
Yeah.
It was like during the dark days of like 20 post Kobe, like 17, 18.
Yeah. It was so cool to see though, bro. It was really cool to see.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah, but I don't remember it like fully, but I do remember seeing it. Yeah.
You remember? Wow, that's crazy. You know what's even crazier? Jason Tatum played with Joe Johnson. Think about that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Paul Millsap.
Dude killed it in the Big Three the other day. Y'all see that? He's got a team of his brothers, and they cooked in the Big Three. Love me some Paul Millsap.
Oh, man.
I think wasn't Al Horford on the same team?
Yeah, they were on the Hawks, the 2015 Hawks.
They were on the Hawks. Okay.
Schroeder, right?
Wait. Did Josh Smith play on that team too?
No, he was gone by then. He was in.
Oh, he wasn't.
He was in Detroit.
He wasn't.
Okay.
Dude, another forgotten player, Greg Monroe. Shout out Greg Monroe.
He's so forgotten. I don't know.
Dude was good. It was him and that Pistons team was low key nice. They had him, they had Josh Smith, and they had Andre Drummond.
OG Grizzlies, bro. Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol,
Tony Allen.
I remember his cards in 2K were cracked, bro.
No, he never had a good jumper though.
Nah, 2K12. He had a gold card in my team, and that card was really good.
No, my team wasn't in 12.
It was, but it wasn't like online. But it was.
Andre Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember RJ?
Because I remember you got the cards but it was like I remember because it was like circle glowing cards and stuff like that.
That was 13. I wasn't 12.
Oh well, 13. One off. My fault.
Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah. Omar, what'd you say?
Andre Karolinko.
Oh, he's the GOAT. That's a 2K GOAT right there.
Yeah.
Forgotten player from that Hawks team, that 2015 Hawks team, Damari Carroll.
Oh, he was nice. Wait. I got the ultimate one right here. Y'all are not going to beat me with this one. Kenneth Faried.
Okay, fair.
Kenneth Faried. I don't think
anybody
can beat me there.
What happened to him? He was like a borderline all-star one year. He legit almost he was on the Team USA, like not like Olympic team, but a FIBA team. He was on one of our FIBA teams, and then was out of the league 2 years later. Talk about a guy whose career got ruined by Steph Curry.
That's crazy.
Steph Curry, like half
Monte Ellis.
When he showed the league that everyone needs to shoot threes, he put half the league's bigs out of business, and the other half had to be Brook Lopez and learn how to shoot, or else they got cooked.
All right, boys. I do got to wrap it up here. Unfortunately, I do have a project to do. That's why I was handling so many messages. I apologize to the BTB audience for not being too locked in today. You will get another version of me next time. I do apologize again. School does come first, so unfortunately, I did have to do that.
Y'all know the picture of Braun where he's like locked in, where it's like.
I'm sorry. Huh?
Y'all know the picture of Braun when he's on the Heat and he's like head down, staring ahead, like locked in, like angry looking Braun. That'll be Omar next episode.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much to my co-host for basically carrying me this podcast. And
no problem. Just the usual. No,
this was episode 41. We'll be back with you guys next week. We will try to be on during the summer. We might take some weeks off. We will consider that because hell, it's the off season.
BTB ranks though. Look out for BTB ranks.
Will be at least 2 episodes. That's what I can promise you guys.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Congratulations to the 2024 Celtics and peace. I got infinity money. Woo!